G'day punters, welcome to the Mailbags preview for the weekend coming up at Flemington. We've got
Headquarters, Peter. Headquarters.
It's not headquarters. They've just had rapid racing.
What's headquarters?
Yeah,
Caulfield.
You can't. Your most recent winning track is not headquarters, mate.
No, that's the best track. HQ. It's my local.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure.
While we're talking things sweet and not sweet, we're at the Pistol's house. Not Crystal Pistol, but this is a crystal, and that's Pistol.
Well, I wouldn't rule anything out.
What's doing?
Salt.
What does this do?
Helps to just balance out the pH levels of the entire environment.
So did you learn that in physio school?
No. Learned that being a chiropractor.
Are you a chiropractor as well as a physio?
No.
It's not sweet.
It's definitely not sweet.
Definitely not sweet.
Speaking of not sweet, Jack Dickens to the left. Usually you'd be hosting, sitting in the middle.
I am. What have I done now?
Nothing. You're just bubbling away. A little bit edgy.
I'm sore.
Yep.
I've done my back. Luckily, Pete is still a qualified physio, and I expect to be looked after. We got ourselves through Sandown.
Yeah.
I think we probably won yesterday, Josh.
On early. On very, very well early.
Gave away a little bit late. We were with Antagonizer. We found the other thing from the yard too, which is, in hindsight, probably the only real frustration from the day. Like you didn't want to be with Wham with the way the track played, despite it pissing in. It was a huge performance, paraded great, but like it had to do something that only that good horse Scottish Dancer did.
Yep.
Excited to see what they had with it. And yeah, that's it about it.
Yeah. We'll review that meeting at some stage in the next couple of days when our brains get back onto that task. Flemington races, we're previewing race 3 for the 2-year-olds and then races 5 through 9. So we will start with the 2-year-olds in race 3.
The Talon Dirt Stakes, 1100 metres, listed 2-year-olds, $140,000 down the straight, big field. Some of these aim at the Blue Diamond, do they, Scooty? Or is this a different form line?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's might be a couple that bob up and might run placings, but I don't think it's the right type of profile in the Blue Diamond. But there's definitely some good horses that come through this race. And yeah, I might as well kick off. Do you want me to kick off with that?
Kick off. Yeah, go for it, mate.
Yeah, it's an interesting race, like with some unknowns, but it's a funny one. There's a horse, Mildred, the last start winner. There's a horse that's sort of come out and won early at a really high SP, and the same sort of thing happened with the good sprinter, CHATTIN Lane. They win off a high SP and then they just don't correct back to what their real SP should do, and it's one of those odd sort of things that you see every now and then. Another good example is horses that are often good lays. There's a horse up in Brisbane called In Gear. All of a sudden it finds a short SP, right? And then all of a sudden it runs seconds and thirds and just gets beat, but it maintains that short SP. They're just really odd scenarios, and I think Mildred's probably, it's a really professional little horse, and it probably goes around a little bit of overs because
2 from 2.
Well, the first time it ever won, it won up the straight, and it's won it twice up the straight. Started off at $10, and it's just maintained this sort of inflated SP. That's not what I'm going to tip, but
Its favourite here is $5.
Sort of,
$5 a field though.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that just because it's one of those things that you'll probably pick up yourselves, and I can't really explain why, but I just think it's a real funny scenario with.
What you're saying
is
if this horse SP like shorter in its previous starts, it'd be $2.50 here.
Yeah.
With its win record, its track record, etc.
Yeah, and then Sandown Lane kept SPing at a really higher price because he sort of come onto the scene as a 20-1 winner once he became a new horse. So it's just an odd thing that I've sort of noticed. I can't really explain why, but I just wanted to talk about it. Mr. Cashman's an interesting runner, done nothing wrong. Billy Egan. He rode Rubisaki or Rubiaski? Yeah.
Rubisaki?
Yeah, Rubisaki.
What do you mean? Why are you laughing?
Oh, I just think it could be interpreted as a funny name.
Rubisaki.
Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Cashman's done nothing wrong.
Like
Billy's in form, but that said, I thought he nearly slaughtered that horse yesterday at Warwick Farm, and just pure ability from that horse got it through, and the fact that it handled the track. I'm interested to see its runner. It is a runner in this race from probably the right part of the track. And the other horse that I was interested in was from the Ellerton Zara yard, River Knight. good behind Hanseatic, off 89 days, so there should be no issue there. I don't know much about its jump outs or anything like that, so that could be a runner from the yard. And Pete's girl, Jamie Carr, takes the ride there. Pistol.
Always a positive.
Really? You'd rather Jamie Carr than Beat Lane? Positive.
No,
Switch.
of course not. I'm with award winner. I know there's probably a slight query given that it was scratched last week, but I think Blinker's going on for the first time is a good sign of intent for the yard. Wasn't suited last start, clocked some really strong sections.
You were very big on it as a type.
Yeah, and so
on the deep dive or the pathways, whichever one it was, post this meeting.
Exactly. I'll have half my investment early after 9 a.m. and then half my investment in the yard. I want to make sure it's moving. We've seen that with a couple of 2-year-olds so far this season where the follow-up rate hasn't been quite to the same level.
Which can be a sign that the horse had enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think award winner looks likely. I'm concerned with why it missed last week. It scares me a bit. Maybe they just avoided the good race. Who knows? River Knight's a horse I've got a lot of time for. I loved it as a type at Sandown. It wasn't ridden to be suited the way the race and track played that day. I'm disappointed it's gone at $8 though. I think from 11, it didn't show a lot of early speed at its one start. It might be back and sort of buried here. But I think it's a horse worth watching and worth following. Mildred, I want to be against it, but it does tick a lot of boxes. Mr. Cashman, Billy Egan and Paddy Payne, they'll tell you all about it on every platform you listen to over the weekend that they're a great combo, etc., etc. They're not a good combo in the city, in Victoria. They're a dynamic combination in the provincial and bush circuit. This horse has good speed and he's drawn 16. It should get absolute run of the race and find the outside lane and be very, very hard to beat. It's a big race and a big horse if you're an in-play punter here. If this horse pings and sits in the first sort of third of the race and is outside with clear air, I think it'll be winning. It was dynamic what it did at Moonee Valley. But if he's real cold on it and it's back and buried, I think it's a bit of a risk at the price.
Thoughts on Toscanini? That's my best roughie in the field, getting chubby prices.
Well, we've had a little bit on at a huge price for it to win the Blue Diamond off its closing sectionals at Geelong and then at Caulfield. Gets Ben Mellon, which is a tick. From 7, I think he can put it sort of into the race. Big watch out parades. Obviously praying for it to run a big race and get to the Blue Diamond because we're with it there. But I thought 21 was about its mark.
Okay.
But there's plenty here, like outside the ones we've mentioned, which are up in the market that I'm happy to sort of oppose.
All right, that's the 2-year-olds. Important to get an update there going into the features coming up. Race 5 is a CS Hayes Stakes over 1400. Obviously, Speed Mat's coming up, and then the market will follow. We've got this New Zealand visitor in Catalyst, which is dominating part of the market, and then Alligator Blood as well. And your thoughts, Scoot? We'll start with you.
Yeah, I've got a lot about this race. I think they're all probably they're gonna win a lot of races. I guess the majority of the horses in this race, even CHENIER, who's really lightly raced, it's going to be going to bigger and better things. Probably going to need this run and a lot further. But it's a roughie of this field. But I guess all the hype's around Catalyst. I'd rather be on Catalyst than Alligator Blood. I like the setup 1200 to 1400 better. Alligator Blood didn't beat much in the inflated Magic Millions race up there. He's a good horse, but
been up a long time.
Yeah, and just be careful. Like the figures that you see off from that Gold Coast track are often average. This horse did run good time in Caulfield against Super Seth, so pay no real attention to the benchmarks of its last start. But yeah, I'd like to think that the race would be, the value sort of lies somewhere in Catalyst, sort of the unknown quantity, and then DALASAN, who probably copped another bad ride. I'm not sure.
I'll clarify. It copped an awful ride.
Yeah.
And it can improve massively.
It's one of those ones, DALASAN. It sort of reminds me of a horse like Spieth, just getting on the wrong leg with a jockey, and now it's onto about its 4th jockey. Sometimes I think you're just better off to find a jockey, stick with a jockey, but you need to book a good jockey in the first place and be a bit savage and ruthless, and then stick with that jockey so you know the horse. If you can, all of a sudden, it's ring a rosy. Now it's poor old Mellon's turn to slaughter.
Yeah, they've really missed the boat with this horse. It's been poorly executed his preparations, I think. He's got SPs over the key players here outside of Catalyst. It's drawn 4. But again, like you're saying, now Mellum rides it. How's he going to ride it? If you knew the horse was going to be 1-1, I want to be all over it at the SP. I think it's great value in this race. Catalyst is interesting as hell, but I don't want to know about it. Drawn 8. I think this big parade will cross and lead. Spend now onto a dry service, which is never seen, is interesting, but they're not going to dig. Alligator Blood, I reckon Ryan Maloney will let big parade cross and he'll end up in the coffin, and it's a small field. I reckon they're going to walk here, really walk. So then it's a much harder race again to make a decision on and bet into. I think this card is really difficult to bet into for the entire day. I think it's like rule number 1 is don't force a bet. This is a race that anything could happen. Your deal jumped out pretty well at Geelong. There was nothing to knock about its jump out there. Chenier jumped out pretty well. It's lightly raced. It's got upside.
Big worry off 300 days though.
It's had 2 solid jump outs. It's a camp. Like, why are they putting it here?
I'm concerned a horse coming off 300 days against Alligator Blood, who's rock hard fit, no issues that we know of, and then Catalyst is a similar story. Like, this is going to be a genuine contest.
And if you look at a horse,
if you're soft, you're not going to win here.
The other horse I haven't mentioned yet is Soul Patch. First up, last preparation on a mad on pace Sandown hillside deck. It was hillside, but it was still mad on pace. This thing absolutely savaged the line.
Yeah.
Clock 2, closing sectionals like enormous. 4 to the 2, 2-0. If they walk and it builds nice momentum, I'm not bagging it either. I think it's a race that's just torture to bet into, be good to bookmake.
Yeah,
the Wish will be putting the 2 favourites in, I've got no doubt.
There's going to be some pathways horses from this, I feel.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
So you're not keen to play? Are you keen to play? Because I'm keen to take on Alligator Blood.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the better layers on the card.
My play would be a lay.
Yeah.
My play would be an in-play layer.
A lay the
If
game.
Alligator Blood leads,
yeah.
I don't want to lay. If he lets it get crossed, I'm happy to gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Maloney's full of confidence at the moment. He's riding really well in Queensland. I've been watching a little bit of Queensland closely lately, and yeah, he seems to be doing a pretty good job out there.
I think if you're not a layer, if you're new to Betfair, it's probably a good race to get yourself equipped with. But having said that, I think Dalasan each way is a really good player as well.
Yeah, and then obviously though the Kiwi, like, was it Melody Bell in spring? Like that thing.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Fucking motored.
Catalyst has really good Kiwi form. You go back to all those group races it's been running in. That's solid form.
I think it won't go completely off a cliff though because it's got concussion plates and though it's had it every start, well most starts from what I've looked into. Some of the big operations will hate that, especially when it goes to Flemington, which would be a firmer deck you'd think than the Kiwi decks. I don't think the price will go off.
Okay, race 6, 1200 metres down the straights, benchmark 90. I must say I found this race pretty torturous to go through. Dicko?
I thought, I'm not that keen. I thought Serious Suspect, Bradford Willer and Saab Hassan. Saab, is that his?
Saab?
Yep, Saab. That's a pretty potent combo. Drawn 11. Nothing's going to take it on here. It looks very, very likely. Going to give you a big side if you like the horse. Loves a straight. Montenegro Man's ready to win. Drawn 5. I think it's going to get the right run here, and it's going to be very hard to beat. Brett Preble's going really well right now, and I like him down the straight. Vegas Knights horse I love. Big night out. It's got Zatori form. Zatori SP short in a very a solid Group 1 down the straight. I think top of my head.
Is that the one? No, just am I getting that wrong?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a good race. 2 other horses. Well, you can't really knock just HIFALUTIN, but Golden Halo was enormous last start. Don't know where to get to in the run here. And TANIKO, the Sydney horse, its close and its form is elite. It's the horse I'd sort of most want to be with, but I just don't like its map. I don't want to be on a horse that's last here. I think they're going to jump, sort of settle, and then go again, and he's going to have to do all the work. And from 7, he's going to have to make a decision. Do I go inside or do I go outside? I suspect Craig will go right to the back, tag up even behind Golden Halo, and then be strong late. But is it too late?
It was the Group 2 tab stakes you're talking about. $2.40 or so behind Kemmel Passer.
Yeah, no, the race behind Sunlight.
Oh, that
So
was
it's
the
run
other
third.
$8,
It's run
yeah.
third to Sunlight in a good race.
Yeah.
So like, what price would Sunlight be here? So Big Night Out was a similar sort of form line level to Zatori.
Yeah.
So thought the jump out was all right. Big Night Out.
Nick Heathcote.
Skitty butt.
I thought Golden Halo is the horse here. I think this is an absolute setup job from Daniel Bowman. I think he's a gun trainer. Not convinced with James Winks. I prefer someone else, but he seemed to ride it okay last start. I think looking to my eye and looking through the sectionals, might have just blown out in that last 200 metres. Golden Halo.
It was very good though, wasn't it? When not suited.
I think the horse has just got a lot of ability. Like, it's still really lightly raced. There's a huge form reference here in the Creswick Stakes behind a horse called GYTRASH. GYTRASH? I don't know how to
G-Tra.
GYTRASH.
I'll say G-Tra.
However you call that. And then looking through its form, like the Anjana run at its second career start only, this horse is a very, very good horse, in my opinion. And if it's come back as good as I think it has, I think it's clearly the one to beat, and it's got so much upside here. And he's a very good
But
trainer.
again, like, it's the same sort of races all day here. Tony NICCONI you can't completely knock, and it's going to do whatever it wants from 3.
Yeah.
Hangers, Kiwi Horse, Mitch Beer, Oliver odds, scary. HUSSON Eagle is the bloody Billy Egan, Paddy Payne combo. Scary.
Just HIFALUTIN, I've got a lot of time for it, but she just loves racing up the straight.
Oh no, it's Jess Eaton riding HUSSON Eagle. Sorry.
All
Pistol?
right. No, I've got no opinion. So I'm not going to throw one out.
All right, mate. Next race, please.
Race 7, Black Caviar Lightning, down the straight, 1,000 metres. Interesting.
In her
Interesting
time on
race.
this last year, beat Osborne Bulls, who was savaging it late. Sunlight was there. This is a downgrade to the typical level of this race, I reckon. Chautauqua won it 4 years ago. Terra Vista beat Spieth. Redkirk Warrior beat Redzel the previous year.
Any angles? I've got a short favourite here.
Put it in. It's got,
Oh, if you're going to put it in at like $1.12 in run, because it's going to look like the winner for a long way.
yeah.
I got no opinion on the race though outside of that. Not interested, to be honest.
I've got a lot of time for G-Tra as a horse now. I've learned how to say its name. I think it's a serious winning chance, probably in the Newmarket. I think it can run a really big race here. I love the trainer. He comes across so well, Gordon Richards. Bold Star ran a really good race last week, so I think the stable's
Loves the track and trip
in
too.
form. Yeah, I think he's a real knockout in the
Zara
Newmarket.
gets on.
Yeah, he's a horse that does plenty for me. He's still only a 4-year-old, so he's very lightly raced there. And then it's hard to sort of not be impressed with what TOFANE did late in spring. He beat Pippi and Manicure, but I sort of just like the way he won. And he can sort of do it on both sort of types of ground. And then the horse that really interests me is Loving Gaby. I thought the tempo last time that these two met
3-year-olds.
was a little bit farcical, and it was very slow early, and it was just a peach ride from J-Mac on Nature Strip last time. So Loving Gaby is the one that could that I'd rather back Loving Gaby than take the $1.45 about Nature Strip.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. If it starts that price, it's a lay for me. I'm just really keen on Redzel. Last 6 preps, first start for the preparation. I'm punting from Gata.
.com.au.
Figures of minus 16.2, minus 15.5, minus 11.4, minus 16.8, minus 15.5, and minus 17.6. Never run worse than second.
Has he been into that again?
I think he's been in the crystal.
Shit, calm down, mate. How much of that jab before we got it?
Oh,
How's
there's
his
a good-
coffee out of it? It's weird.
There's
So
a good
weird.
hole in the middle.
I'm liking that.
You know, a little bit of salt, never hurt anyone.
But you make good sense there, Pistol.
Dead set keen. It's trialled twice going into this. Both trials are fine. It's run first and second. 1,000 metres, like it.
You
straight,
kind of know
clean.
he's not going to run a bad race.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with the price.
Race 8, Pete, the Betfair Vanity 400 metres, Group 3 set weights with penalties, 3-year-old fillies.
Oh.
Behave yourself. I thought Muse would lead pretty brazen, but the rest of the map was a little bit tricky. I don't know where they get to with Swing and Boom. Palmy, Linda Meach, it's the race fit horse here. I kind of want to find it, but I don't know where she'll go from 3. The Lunar Light gets Jake Carr, SA Visitor. I think he's going to get run of the race.
Okay. I just thought Pretty Brazen ticked a lot of boxes here. Hasn't been any money for it so far. It's drifting out towards a very backable price to mine. Should get itself into a lovely spot. More than happy to be with it.
Scooty?
Yeah, I didn't have a firm opinion and probably need to put a little bit more time into this race. It just, the right form or the right horse wasn't obvious within the first sort of 20 minutes of me doing the race, and I tend to do really badly the longer I spend on a race, I'm usually just tying myself up in knots.
I thought it was a little bit of merit to Swing and Boom here. Gets D. Oliver on. It was not suited and cast when won very, very bravely at Sandown on the lakeside. It's obviously not the strongest form, but there was a lot of merit to what it did. It's coming from a previous win at Cranbourne and a maiden. It's the horse on the up. I think it's going to run a big race. The KATALIN seems very, very short to me. Yes, it won stylishly, but didn't do much to the clock.
Very good. Race 9 to finish off the card, 1400 metres once more. Again, another race I really didn't have too much of an opinion of. Either of you two found anything?
I thought F Troop with a good parade can run a big race. Galaxy Raider seems the wrong price. And Foxhall's run at Caulfield was a lot better than it looked. I don't know where Regan can get to from barrier 9 on Foxhall, but if he did lob in a sort of midfield position with some cover, I'd expect it's pretty strong late. And then Reflectivity was absolutely cast last start, 3 wide the trip. That race rated enormous. It gets D done on. If it's forward and near it, it's going to run a big race, I reckon. And Streets of Avalon wasn't suited last start. Doesn't run poorly ever. Was wound up to go to Dubai or Hong Kong or somewhere. It's going to be ready to go. It's going to be on pace. It's a race where I've got angles and I'll probably decide from the yard, but also the way the track's played, I'll get rid of sort of there's about 2 horses in each sort of section of the race here for me.
Yeah, I think I got a lot of time for Rocks the Castle. I think he's just perpetually underrated, that horse, and personally I haven't given him enough respect and been on the wrong side of him a lot. I think he's probably the best up front. I thought the best roughie was clearly Star Missile. Loved his prep last. He only had 2 starts last prep. He might have some tricks, but Craig Williams is on that horse. And then Admiral's Joke is the other horse that I really, really like. I'm not sure what I think about him coming out of such a fast and strongly run race. As
Proper form though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great form, but
he loomed up to win last week.
Yeah, I was actually I love the horse. I was at the track.
You're a big joker, man. Like I remember you went to Seymour to back it.
I went to Seymour.
You went to Seymour. You don't even watch him parade, but you wanted to go and just check it was sweet before you launched into it.
Went to Seymour Cup Day and I was quite upset with the amount of people there. I expected it to be like a big thing, like a country cup. You've got like something like Warrnambool Cup and you think, oh, yeah, how good's that? Or Bendigo Cup, and you see all these like great country cups. Got to Seymour, and there was probably a bit of Crystal Pistol floating around there as well. It was some not sweet scenes. There was a bit of GYTRASH there as well. And anyway, he was a living, breathing certainty.
The country cups are the best, like after about race like 4. And then there's always a couple of blokes in like big fat black pants with the shitty white top, and like often a bit of sleeve work coming through the bottom, who have just ridden themselves off way too early.
Well, they've got
getting abusive and lippy.
Well,
but there's actually because they anticipate no one going.
Yeah.
Like at Bendigo one time, there was just no one there to sort him out. Like he was just dribbling. He was literally like passing out on the seat, sitting in front of like some beautiful old Australians, just sitting there, just trying to enjoy the day of the races, and there's no security.
It was a pisser because it was the Seymour Cup was in October, so the 3rd week of October. Anyway, there was this trestle table with one security guard that was as fat as mud, right? And there's like a Melbourne Cup, like what looked to be a replica, just sitting there. So it was like part of the Melbourne Cup tour.
No.
And so I've gone from the betting ring to go to the toilet just to take a slash, and then next thing you know, I walk past. I'm like, well, that must be the Seymour Cup, and then keep walking. And then I'll turn around, I'm pretty sure it was the Melbourne Cup, and there was just this one security guard there minding it. Like anyone with half a turn of foot, like you could even
Walshy could have outrun.
Yeah, like Walshy or Beasley, they could just absolutely just scoop it up one hand, and then just would have stolen the Melbourne Cup there and then.
I'll tell you who could outrun him and could outrun Walshy and BC. TB.
TV was good.
Is he not parading very well?
TV's back.
Oh,
He hit the ball enormous. He was off 36 handicap,
oh,
and he nearly
hot
beat me
go,
off the
massive hot
stick.
go. He would comfortably beat Walshy off the stick.
BZ would give him the fright of his life.
He'd give him a fright, but BZ started to strengthen on his finish. He's worked real hard on his closing sectionals.
Yeah,
Doesn't fade late anymore.
He's got a new group and new setup.
There's a bit going on there.
Yeah, there's a heat going on. But
TV, yeah, real fit for fitter than you think. Fitter than you think. If you lived up to him at the races, I'd be ready to go because he could belt the shit out of you.
So yeah, I think Admiral's Joker, if it finds the back of Blaze Kowski or Blaze Jowski, it could just cart him into the race beautifully, and he's got a better turn of foot. So that's I love the horse, and he's probably my best for the day. Yeah, I think it's if he can handle that coming off that hot speed behind Anahid and Bold Star and things like that.
That's a good segue. Best bet time. Scoot, you just threw out yours.
Yeah, Admiral's Joker's going to be my best. I think the horse has got still on an upward spiral, even though he's 7 years old.
I'll go with award winner in race 3.
I like race 5, number 4, Dalasan. I think it's really good odds to beat the 2 spruiked horses in the CSA's stakes.
Callers, lays, whatever you want to call it.
I'm laying race 4, number 8, Skelm. Johnny Allen from 10. I think you'll see 0 and 10 to be near last and not suited. There's a stack of horses in this race with a little bit of upside and sort of ready to do something. Big Sir, Sam Slick, Sal some more. Good idea. Good idea was given absolutely none last week at Moonee Valley. Backs up, gets K McAvoy. It can improve. Big time.
Scooty.
Yeah, I'll lay Alligator Blood. I think he's 2.15 early with the plastics. You want to be taking. You'd be thinking he starts $3 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm certainly keen to lay Alligator Blood as well if it jumps anywhere under sort of 250, especially go heavy. Best value, Chubbs. What do you think of big figures?
Race 8, number 8, Swing and Boom, Price, Oliver, combo, lightly raced, with a bit of fresh blood on the 3-year-old scene.
Mine's Loving Gabby. I think she's the wrong price, especially off that last start. The tempo didn't suit her, and so J-Mate needs to pull out a 10 out of 10 ride again, and if there's genuine speed, she's in the race.
I've got REDZEL as value in race 7, and then also in race 3, Toscanini at over 20 to 1.
Right. Hammer in race 3, aren't you?
Yeah,
all in.
Like it.
Shoving.
Not quite shoving, but one hand.
Gentle movement into it.
Exactly.
Good areas.
Solid
Right,
card.
I hope you enjoyed the show.
We've got Mounting Yard Mail coming from Moonee Valley, from Flemington, and from Randwick, which is a fat card up there. Hopefully it's...
And if the back completely goes, Pete will cover the yard.
Yeah.
But I'll probably get through.
If there's a race delay, you'll know why, because the ambulances are tending to Jack Dickens or as they usually specify, an on-course patron.
On-course patron.
So you out for golf Monday?
Not ruling it out yet. Not ruling
Could
it
be
out.
back.
Definitely not ruling that out yet. But we're big weekend ahead. Can't wait. See you then. Bye.
See you guys.